without acknowledging what done went down on the cross.
That's right.
See, again, as I've used as an illustration before, when you look at the Passover, in order for the death angel to pass, they had to go to the doorway. God was setting this thing up hundreds of years in advance.
All right.
You had to go to the doorway, and you had to put blood on the top of the door and on each side of the door. And when the death angel came, he passed by. Wasn't no getting around that thing. God set it up like that. He said, if I don't see no blood on the top and on each side of the door, then the death angel gonna come get you. Well, God later on says, sin gonna consume you unless I see blood on the top of the doorway and on each side of the doorway. If you turn it back with me, if you will, on the cross, there was a crown of thorns, blood on top of the doorway. When he nailed him on the cross, it was blood on each side of the doorway. The reason I can pass over sin was because of the blood. Ain't no way I can pass over sin unless I have the blood. I got to look at the door and see the blood on the doorway. If I want to make it into heaven, I ain't gonna get around it. John 3:16 said it best. He said, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever should believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. He said Jesus did not come to condemn the world, but through him the world may be saved. He didn't say I was going to send Elijah Muhammad so that you can be saved. He didn't say I was going to send the Alibaba or the Dalai Lama or whatever he is. He didn't say I was going to send him so that you may be saved. He said I sent my Son through a virgin and through a brother named Joseph. I raised him up 33 years so that he could die on the cross for your sin, for your iniquity, so he could be bruised for your transgression. Ain't no way you get it. I didn't go through all that work so you could find another way. Ain't no way in hell, and I ain't cussing. I hope you heard what I said. Ain't no way in hell that you can get to heaven. Only go through the way of Jesus. Only through the outstretched hands of Jesus can you make it into the gate. Come on, somebody. Bless your Lord. I'm going to close when I tell you this story. God showed me a vision of a little boy who done walked away. Decided he wanted to go see the world. He wanted to go hang out. He wanted to go do everything that he wanted to do. And I could see his parents saying, well, when you go out there, make sure that you know the way back home, because it's a cold world out there. If you start getting out there, there's so many different U-turns and so many different one-ways and all this. He said, but you got to remember, there's only one way to get back home. She told him there's only one way to get home. And he went on out there, and he got tired of everything that was going on. So he died in his mind to say, you know, this ain't working for me. I know what I got at home. I got a good life at home. I believe I'll go back home. But as he continued to walk back home, he realized that he had lost his way. He realized he couldn't find his way. He was trying to look for a landmark, but couldn't find it. So as he sit there crying, somebody walked up to him and said, son, what's wrong with you? He said, I just want to go home, but I can't find my way. He said, well, do you know what street you live on? He said, I know the name of the street, but I don't know how to get there. I know who I live next door to, but I still don't know how to get there. He said, well, describe the street to me. Maybe I can help you out. He said, it's just a long, narrow, straight street. He said, but in the middle of it, he said they did some concrete work, and right in the middle of the street is a cross in the middle of the street. He said, now, if you can just lead me to the cross, I know I can get home. He said, I don't know about all these side streets. I don't know all about the other. He said, but I know right at my street there's a cross. So, sir, if you can just get me to the cross, I know I'll make it back home. So that man said, I know exactly what you're talking about. He said, because out of all the streets that's in this neighborhood, there's only one street that got a cross on it. There's only one street that got that long, narrow cross on it. So he began to walk with him back in the right direction. And then when he got to the cross, the boy looked with joy. He said, now I can finally make it back home, because I know how to get home through this cross. Well, I want to tell you, spiritually, I feel like that little boy. Sometimes I walk somewhere everywhere else. I went to and fro and I couldn't find what I was looking for. I went up and I went down and I couldn't find what I was looking for. And when I sat there crying, I said, if I can just get back to the cross, I know I'll make it home. If I can just get back to the cross, then I know I'll be all right. If I can just get back to the cross, because on the cross is the doorway to heaven. I can't make it to my Father's house unless I go to the cross. I don't care what Oprah say. It's the cross that's going to lead me to heaven. I don't care what Elijah Muhammad say. It's the cross that's cross. It don't matter who walk with me and stop walking with me. As long as I walk in that cross, I know I'm going to head in the right direction, because God is the way to heaven. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Ain't no man coming to the Father except he come through me. You can do all your good works, but unless you accept Jesus, you can't make it into the heaven's gate. You can feed the hungry, but unless you accept Jesus, ain't no way you're going to make it. You can clothe the naked, but if you don't accept Jesus, ain't no way you're going to make it. You can speak with the tongues of men, but if you don't accept Jesus, ain't no way you're going to make it. You can accept the love offering, but if you don't accept the love offering, ain't no way you're going to make it. God is the only way. Ain't no other way to get to heaven. Ain't no way on power on earth can a man be saved unless he call on the name of Jesus. Because there's something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name I know. Only can I call on the name Jesus, and that thing ease my doubts. Only can I call on the name Jesus, and I begin to stand up straight. Only can I call on the name of Jesus, that my back straighten out. Only can I call on the name of Jesus, and I can feel the blood flowing. Because when the blood feels like it's flowing, it ain't my blood that's flowing, but it's the blood that Jesus shed. Way back on Calvary. It reaches to the highest mountain. It reaches to the lowest sea. All the blood that gives me strength from day to day. And it will never lose its power. But only the blood that Jesus shed. If I touch you, you're going to bleed to death. But if Jesus cut you, you're going to bleed to life. Because he's going to drain out of your pure blood. And he's going to give you a blood transfusion. Sometimes when you get shown up sick, they drain your blood out and put pure blood in you. God said you look a little dirty on the inside. I don't care if you type A positive. I don't care if you're type B negative. God said, I am type Jesus.